Good morning, Claire here in the Pacific Northwest Puget Sound area, Grow Zone 8B, and I wanted to start easing into cottage mode today. If you've followed for a while, then you may remember that last year around autumn and winter time, we did more indoor things like baking and cooking and going on family adventures and doing some other cozy things around the house. And I'm excited to return to that. In the meantime, I am still enjoying the bounty that we have in the garden, whether that be flowers or fruits and veggies. And this is just really one of the most spectacular times of the year. I always forget that it's autumn that brings the harvest, and it's the summertime that shows the growth and the hard work you do, and this is when it really pays off, and it's just so wonderful. I'm not excited for it to be gone, but I did want to harvest our pumpkins today because last year I purchased pumpkins from the grocery store and turned them into canned pumpkins so that I could be able to have it available for this year to make some wonderful purees to add to, soups and bread and cinnamon rolls and all sorts of yummy things. So it's about time that I use my old stock and clear it out so that I can preserve our new harvest. And I can't wait for you to see just how lovely the pumpkins that we've grown this year are. I wanted to bring some of this sunshine inside though. It's getting to the point where I know we're not going to have it soon, and I just want to fill a jar up with so many blooms. I'm not even trying to do arrangement of any sort. I just want them inside so I can look at them, and I don't even care how they're arranged, and it's going to look so pretty. But as far as our pumpkins, we have had such fun adventures with them this year. If you've watched for a while, you may have seen some of the ones that our chickens had planted for us by accident by spreading out our old compost pile. And then these ones are the ones that we put into our Three Sisters garden. And they did really well. They are, I'm not even sure what varieties, I don't remember. I know that I did a rouge type, the red one, and I think that might be the one that I just harvested. This one, I think may have been a giant pumpkin seed, but I don't think that I should have planted a little bit sooner, but still. It's really cute, and we still have several vines that are producing little tiny pumpkins. So I don't know if they'll have enough time to mature, but we'll just watch them in the meantime. Here's some extra cute little tiny ones. So who knows how big those will get. I'm excited to see though.
Mama, hug you. I'm a real boy.
And these are the 3 pumpkins that we just harvested. And here is some of the pumpkins that I have turned into preserves for last year. And I'm going to turn this into puree, and then we're going to make some pumpkin bread. First, you're going to want to add in 1/4 cup of warm milk. And then you're going to put in 4.5 teaspoons of active yeast. And then you'll mix it all together and let it sit for about 5 minutes till it gets bubbly. While I wait for that to proof, I am going to open up this can of pumpkins from last year. And did you know that you can use the ring lid to loosen the flat lid? I just learned that hack like maybe a few months ago. And then I'm just gonna puree that. Also, while you are waiting for the yeast to activate, you can be wise with your time by going ahead with a separate bowl, mixing together 3 cups of all-purpose flour. Then you're going to want to add a teaspoon of cinnamon, a teaspoon of salt, and then you will just whisk those all together and set aside until the next step. Now that your yeast is activated, you are going to want to go ahead and add 3/4 cup of pumpkin puree, and then you'll add in 1 egg and then a tablespoon of olive oil. You will also add in 1/4 cup of packed brown sugar. Then you will start whisking all of that together and blending very well. Take your flour mixture bowl and start gradually adding it to your wet ingredients. I use a fork to stir it in. It says to use a whisk, but I know that would be a nightmare getting the dough out of the whisk prongs or whatever you would call them. So you just gradually add it until it comes together to form a very shaggy dough. Take your shaggy dough and plop it onto a floured space and then start kneading it. And it's said to do it for about 10 minutes, which was about right. So you'll get a little bit of an arm exercise because you want your dough to come out kind of smooth and shiny. Grease up a clean bowl and then you will drop in your dough into that and then cover in plastic. Tightly put it somewhere warm, like in your oven, not turned on, but just your oven with the light on for about an hour and 30 minutes. And while you're waiting for that to rise, you can go ahead and take about 24 inches of twine, cut 3 pieces, and then you can lay them out sort of in a star-shaped pattern, and that will just be there and ready for when the dough is risen. And then now that it's doubled in size, you can go ahead and punch it down and take it out of the bowl and go ahead and roll it into another kind of smooth shaped ball. Transfer it over to your baking pan and take those strings and collect them up at the top all the way around, just like so. And then you're going to tie them all together, leaving about an inch of space at the top to give it give it plenty of space to expand as it rises again. Insert your cinnamon stick into the top for the pumpkin stem, and I just sort of placed the ends of the string on top of the cinnamon thing. I don't know if that's right or wrong, but that's what I did. And then you lightly cover it again with the plastic wrap and let it rise for 30 more minutes. After it's completed that second rise, then you're going to want to create an egg wash of 1 egg and 1 teaspoon of water. And you will go ahead and scramble all that up and take a little pastry baster and baste the entire pastry before you put it in the oven. Then add it to the oven for 30 minutes at 350 degrees. 30 minutes later, it was finished and it smelled so good.
Yay. I want to smell.
You want to smell it?
Yeah.
Okay. This recipe came from the Food Network. It's their pumpkin-shaped pumpkin bread, and I highly recommend this. It was pretty easy to follow along with and obviously looks freaking adorable. And the final step I'm doing here is taking the strings off of here, and then we're going to enjoy some of it. I'm going to cut into this bad boy and slather it with butter because everything is just better with butter. And after watching the playback of this, I realized, number one, I'm not a dainty eater. And it's not that cute. But I was definitely enjoying it. This is worth it. This is worth it. Thanks so much for sticking around with us today to see what we've gotten into. If you're interested in this recipe for this bread, I will put a link in the description. I hope you guys have an excellent rest of your Sunday, and I will see y'all next week.